The only two things needed for success are hard work and discipline, and the only real thing keeping you from it is procrastination. In this video, I want to show you how to beat it once and for all. Procrastination has always been a big part of my life, because I wasn't the guy to just stand up from bed, put your phone away and then work for 2 hours on one thing to really perfect it. I mean, if I look back at school, I just did the things necessary and then stopped and just wasted my time with video games and social media. So I wasn't the most productive kid in the class. And while I got older, this problem just got worse. I was getting more and more into video games and social media and therefore put off work entirely. I just lost all of my discipline to really focus on one thing, to really work on it and to therefore get a lot of progress out of it. I sometimes needed half an hour to even get myself onto the table and to work. So I know exactly how it is for you to just be procrastinating, to just do the easy things and to not get onto the work necessary for your success. With this video, with the tactics that I'm going to teach you, I want to change this because, as I said, procrastination is the number one thing keeping you from any real progress. And the first thing to get away from procrastination is to plan out everything that you do. If it is your activities, if it is your entire day, what you really have to do is to first of all analyze the problem. The problem is you procrastinating. That is obvious, right? But why are you procrastinating? Is it easier to just scroll on social media? It probably is. Is the work that you want to do really boring? Does it make you uncomfortable? And would you rather do something else? Obviously. And now you know the problems for your procrastination. The thing that you want to do is way harder than the thing that you are doing right now, which is wasting your time on useless things. And why is it like that? Because these things, as social media, video games and porn, were actually designed to be easier than all of the important tasks that you have to do. That is obviously an entire topic for another video, but what I want to say is that getting onto your work is actually pretty hard for you. And that is because you don't plan out how you're going to do it. You know what? Grab yourself a notebook and write down everything that you have to do for the remainder of the day. I know, you're watching this at 11 PM and you really need to go to bed. But then just write down what you have to do the next day. How you want to stand up, what work you want to do, if it's homework, if it's working on a project. Write everything down in a pretty list that you can read tomorrow. Then after you've done it, you have to strictly plan out how you're going to do it. Even just look at the normal things that you will do when you want to get to work. Cleaning your desk, getting out your computer for research, going out to get some refreshment, to really get your brain going. Everything that you do before getting onto work, or even when getting onto work, you should think of and even write down. And then look at that list. You will probably see some points of action that could have been avoided if you did something before that. I mean, as I just mentioned the example, cleaning your desk could have been entirely avoided if you've done it beforehand. Like, imagine yourself, you want to go onto a new project, you want to write a book. Now what you have to do is that you first of all have to get out of your bed, put your phone away, then go onto your desk and then you have to clean everything up because it just looks like an entire mess. Then what you have to do is to get your computer out, turn on all the programs, open Google, open the writing program, or maybe you do it on a piece of paper. Then you have to get out your paper, have to grab a pen, maybe you have to grab a ruler and everything that you need for it. And only then you can start working. All of these points, grabbing these things, cleaning up your desk, even opening and starting your computer could have been avoided if you did it beforehand. So what should you do? For example, for the guys that are watching it at 11 PM, please go to bed. But before you do it, first of all think of your future self and do things for it so that it won't have any problems getting onto work. Clean up your table. Already keep the computer open, or at least at the place where you're going to use it. Lay the clothes down for tomorrow if you want to take a shower early in the morning. Lay down everything, your towel, the new clothes, maybe the shampoo that you're gonna use. Be as specific as you can be. The more you do for your future self, the less you will have to do when you want to go to work. If it's just 3 or 4 steps that are now gotten rid of, you will maybe even get onto work faster. Because you won't just think to yourself, oh, I still have to clean up my desk and I have to do this and this. Nah, I'd rather scroll on YouTube and watch some more shorts. Because that is what I did back in the day. I didn't clean up after myself. I didn't structure anything. I didn't even knew what I wanted to work on before I got onto it. I just kept everything for my future self, showed him the middle finger, and that was it. And guess what? I wasn't going to do the work, and if I wasn't going to do it pretty well, because I just looked back onto my past self, showing me the middle finger, and then knew, well, fuck you. I don't want to do this. I didn't want to do it firsthand, but you just made it worse. Speaking to your past self, obviously. So to conclude, plan out everything as strictly as you can and then get rid of all of the traction beforehand so that when you go to work you can just do it easily and without any distractions. Then what you also can combine with the first point is aligning a goal to everything. The first thing driving every man is a goal to work towards. What we want to do is that we want to have a goal that we want to work towards and that we want to crush. If that means doing it in less time, doing it better than we've expected, or at least just doing it in the time span that we've assigned to it, we want to have a goal to work towards. So what you have to do is that you actually plan a goal, a task that you want to finish when you get onto work. This also makes it easier for you to not overwork yourself on the first try. If you're not really used to just getting onto work and then doing it, then this will actually hinder you from overworking yourself, of doing more than you've planned to, and to therefore make the experience of getting onto work and accomplishing something uncomfortable and even stressful. That was what I did when I started self-improvement. I already told the story, but the first time when I started meditating, I wanted to meditate for 1 hour straight. I jumped completely over the fence with it. I didn't even meditate 2 minutes before that in my lifetime, and now I wanted to do it for 1 hour. Guess what I did? I actually got to do it for around 50 minutes or so, and then I was completely f***ed. I didn't have any motivation to do it again, because I didn't have a goal. I just sat myself down, thought that I was being as cool as all of the other guys on YouTube, and just start off with 1 hour of meditation every day. For this day it worked, but the day afterwards I was completely crushed. I didn't have any motivation to do it any further. And when you're in a position where you're procrastinating a lot, where you haven't done a lot of work, and where in general working is just pretty hard for you, then you should align an easier but still a hard goal for you so that you can make progress without actually hurting your motivation for it. Because working and therefore focusing is just a skill like any other. A lot of people just think that you have to train and train and train to get better at playing the guitar, to get better at playing football. But many people don't even comprehend of thinking the same of some simple skills like focusing, like working, like meditating, and therefore just sitting still and thinking of nothing. And I was crushed when I realized that this is just a normal skill like any other, because nobody has taught me that. And the thing is, a lot of people don't know that these normal and simple things are actually skills that you also have to train. They just think that they can do it from second one and that it's just lacking motivation or a lack of drive. But that is not the case. And because you are also at a beginning point, you have to gradually increase the work rate that you put out. You can't just start working 10 hours a day. I couldn't either. I wanted to, but I couldn't. At least not for more than 3 days. And you shouldn't do the same to yourself as well. Start off easy by aligning a goal, but making it a bit simpler so that you first of all get used to working. When planning out a goal, use Parkinson's law. The more time you plan out for an activity to finish, the more time it will take for it. Let's say, for example, you want to work on some project, on a research, and you say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna give myself 1 month to research this. You know what's gonna be pretty likely? That you will take around 1 month. Sure, you will take a bit more or a bit less than that, but you will put yourself around this time frame that you need 1 month to finish it. Let's say that you reduce it to 2 weeks. Now you feel that there's a bit of pressure on, that you have half the time that you usually plan for it. Now you get onto your computer every day and you research the project for at least 1 hour per day. And afterwards you see that in 2 weeks it was actually pretty easy. And you've actually just did it in 10 days. How is that? Well, you have shortened the time span in which you actually thought that you have to use for the project. If you give yourself a lot of time, then your brain will just think, I can just relax and do something here and there and it will be done. But when you actually make it more strict, then you will realize that you can put out a lot more work than you thought you actually could. And that is the thing which is also helping your procrastination. Planning goals so far out that you just have a lot of time to use on other unimportant stuff. And it was again one thing that I did as well. Let's go back to school where we had to write 1 page that we had to present in front of the class. We had 3 months for it. And you know how much time I actually took? Around the last 2 days. That was it. And it wasn't even the full 24 hours of both days. It was only around 10 hours. That was all that I needed to put together this presentation. And you know what I got? I got an A for it. The only time that was needed was 10 hours and I got an A for it. So it was perfect, right? But the thing was, I had 3 months to do this presentation, which were completely unnecessary. On all the other days, I just wasted my time with video games and all the other stuff while not doing anything for my research. Of course, I still did it right and I got an A for my presentation. But the thing that I really wanted to tell you is that when you stricten your time span, you will actually realize that you are able to do more work in less time. Because of the pressure that you will put yourself under, you will work more and therefore won't waste much time doing unnecessary things. And you will also be more time conscious, which will again drive you to work more. But again, because you're at the beginning of a process of really learning how to work, don't overdo yourself. Obviously put yourself under some pressure, but don't overgo yourself and set impossible goal lines that you wouldn't even achieve anywhere near that. But then what also is a big part of your preparation is getting rid of all of your distractions. Get rid of social media, get rid of the video games, get rid of everything that distracts you. That is easier than the work that you actually have to do. If you delete your apps, if you just put your gaming console far away, then it won't be easier anymore to get onto these things. You would have to reinstall the apps, you will have to grab out the console, put it back onto the television, and then, only then, you can play. By making it harder to get to these distractions, you actually keep yourself off them. This is a general tip that you can follow to even get rid of some bad habits. Make them as hard as possible to get onto. At the beginning, when I said that you have to analyze all of the steps that you need to take towards your work, you can also do these things with the bad habits. And there you will realize that you won't have to take much steps to it. The only thing that you have to do is grab your phone, turn it on, click on YouTube, and then you have the full world of social media right before your eyes. And that's it. There won't be much to it. And your task is it to make this way as hard and as long as possible. If you install an app where you just have to put in a password before you really can enter it, if you completely delete it and always have to reinstall it when you want to use it, this will actually prevent you from going into these bad habits and will make you more likely to go onto your work, because getting onto your work will actually be easier than getting onto these distractions. It is such a simple way, but not many people think of it. And I haven't done as well. I've just read it in the book Atomic Habits, and when I've read it, my mind was blown. And I've actually used it. Especially for social media, I've made it so hard to get onto it that I don't even waste that much time with it anymore. And that is what you should do as well. And I will guarantee you that a big part of your wasted time on procrastination will be gone before you even think of it. But then also, like making the way to your tasks easier, make the task itself easier. Start with smaller tasks. For example, just start meditating for 5 minutes. Just start writing 1 paragraph and that's it. Even make it a lot smaller. Just start writing 1 sentence every day and that's it. You won't have to do much more. Just 1 sentence that you find really good and that's it. How long is that going to take you? 2 minutes? Alright, maybe 5 minutes, but that's it. You won't take much more time than that. And the thing is, when starting with small tasks, you will actually grab up some motivation and you will want to do more. Of course, not on every day. Sometimes you will just have a bad day, write your 1 sentence and that's it. But on many days, you will just get the motivation to write 1 paragraph. Sometimes even 1 whole page. And it just comes like that, just because you have started working on something. That is the power of just starting it. Through just getting onto the work and just doing a bit of it, you actually grab the motivation out of it. You don't get motivated and then start work. You first of all have to get onto work and then get motivation to do it further. That is how it really works. Talking about motivation, another way to really get you to do your work is to hold yourself accountable. And what is the best way to do that? Make a bet with your friends and family. Go to your parents and say that you are going to write 1 full paragraph every day, or you will have to pay them $5 every time you don't do it. Especially if you're my age and the only thing you get is pocket money from your parents. This actually hurts a lot. You don't want to lose $5 every day just because you haven't written 1 little paragraph. You will do it because you want to keep these $5 to spend it on something else. And that is a great way to hold yourself accountable. Go to your friends, go to your family, and then ask them to make a bet with you. Every time that you don't do 1 thing that you really have to work on and that you really want to make progress on, you will get punished for it if you lose something or even just lose their respect. And as you know yourself, the most important thing for human beings is their status. So by just telling your friends that you want to achieve that in a certain time span, you will just instantly lose their respect and even your responsibility in front of them if you don't do it. It sounds very harsh, but it will be like a kick in your ass and it will get you to start working. I can definitely guarantee that. I actually did this with some of my friends, where I started that I really want to start off training. I didn't really make a bet out of it, but I told all of them that I'm going to get jacked in the next 6 months. And guess what I did? I got jacked in 6 months. Because I knew that if I wouldn't do it, if I would just stop training after like 2 weeks, they would be disappointed in me. And they would think that I'm just another loser that couldn't even get onto training. And I would have been exactly that if I didn't do it. So again, take your friends and family onto your helping hand and hold yourself accountable by making bets with them. Now all you have to do is get off your fucking ass and get onto working. The one most important thing to get rid of procrastination is to just start it. To use your willpower, to use your discipline to just get on it. Yes, you can use all of the things that I've just described, but if you still don't get onto work by yourself, these won't help you much. Sure, they will make your way easier and the only thing that you sometimes just have to do is to just stand up, sit down and then get onto it. But if you're still too lazy to do even that, then I'm sorry. I and all the other people on this world cannot help you. The end factor that it all relies on, the bottleneck in your equation, is yourself. If you don't get your ass up, if you don't start working, nobody will. So use these tactics, really use them to your advantage, but in the end, get off your fucking ass and start working. This will be like any other skill that you first of all have to train to get better at it. And if you don't start, guess what? you won't get better at it. Because your goal will be to make working hard, to getting onto your work instantly and then focusing, to make this a habit of yours. By doing it every day, you will practice it, you will get better at it, and you will cultivate it as a habit. So this will just be a part of your routine and you don't even have to think about it anymore. So, this was my message to you so that you can get rid of procrastination and just get onto your work and start making progress. How have you overcome procrastination before? Leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you want more information on how to work better, then watch this video right after. Always keep your focus on your purpose. See you next time.